All right, let's talk about bug bounty hunting. It's this incredible field where your tech skills and your curiosity can actually earn you some serious money, all while you're helping to make the internet safer for everyone. And the best part? You don't need some fancy degree to get started. All you really need is a laptop, an internet connection, and, a real desire to learn. So let's break down how you can actually turn that curiosity into a pretty amazing career.
I know, it sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? The idea of finding just one single flaw in a system that could land you $250,000. But here's the thing. This isn't just some hypothetical question. This really happened, and it's a perfect example of just how valuable finding one critical bug can be.
Yep, $250,000. That's exactly what Coinbase paid out for a single bug. Now, this wasn't some super complex, multi-stage attack that took months to plan. Nope. It was a single, missing validation check, a tiny error that could have had absolutely catastrophic results for one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world. This is the high-stakes, high-reward world we're going to jump into today.
So, to get you from zero to hero, we've broken this down into 4 key sections. We're going to start with the big picture, the landscape. Then we'll get into your toolkit, guide you through some awesome training programs, and finally, show you exactly how to get started and launch your career.
Okay, let's get right into it. First things first, we've got to understand the fundamentals. What exactly is a bug bounty program? And how does this whole process even work from a hacker's point of view?
The easiest way to think about it is this. A company is officially inviting you to try and break their stuff. Seriously. They lay out the rules of the game, what you're allowed to test, what's totally off limits, and they offer you cash rewards based on how bad the bugs you find are. It's really a win-win situation. They get their security tested by a whole army of creative minds, and you get paid for your skills.
And the process itself, it's pretty straightforward. First, and this is crucial, you have to read the program's policy very, very carefully to understand the scope. Then, the fun part begins, the hunt. Once you find a legit vulnerability, you can't just email them saying, hey, your site's broken. You have to write a super detailed report with a proof of concept that shows them exactly how to reproduce the bug. If they can validate it, you get paid. Simple as that.
Now, to really understand the kind of impact we're talking about, let's circle back to that $250,000 bug. It's honestly the perfect case study for how a seemingly tiny mistake can open up a massive security hole.
What's so wild about this story is just how simple the problem was at its core. There was a flaw in their trading API that basically forgot to check if the crypto our user is trying to sell was the same as the crypto they actually had in their wallet. A malicious actor could have told the system they were selling, say, Bitcoin that they didn't even own, and the system would have just let them. It was literally an unlimited money glitch. This is exactly why companies are willing to pay top dollar to stop disasters like this before they happen.
So you're probably getting excited about the potential here, right? But the big question is, where do you even begin? Well, this next section is all about that. We're going to cover your essential toolkit, the skills, the software, and the practice labs you're going to need. Look, before you can break things, you have to understand how they're built. These skills right here, they're the absolute non-negotiables. You've got to understand how the web communicates through HTTP, you need to know the basics of networking and DNS, and you have to be comfortable working in a Linux terminal. And trust me, knowing some basic web dev and a scripting language like Python will make your life so much easier. Now, for the tools. Don't get overwhelmed by the giant sea of hacking tools out there. The key is to master a few really important ones. Start with Kali Linux. It's your all-in-one operating system, packed with security tools. The one you absolutely have to learn, though, is Burp Suite. It's the industry standard for intercepting and messing with web traffic. Then you've got other essentials like Nmap for mapping networks and tools like Nuclei for running really fast automated scans.
You can't just start poking around on live websites. That's a quick way to get into trouble. You need a safe, legal place to practice. Think of these platforms as your digital gym. Hack the Box and Try Hack Me are amazing. They give you vulnerable machines that feel like real-world targets. And things like DVWA are apps you can actually host yourself to practice specific attacks over and over again until you master them.
Okay, so you know what you need to learn. The next logical question is, how do you learn it? This next section is basically a curated guide to some of the absolute best training resources out there, both free and paid, to help you find the right path for you.
So the first big choice you'll probably face is whether to go with free or paid resources. And honestly, the free stuff out there is incredible for building your foundation, especially if you're good at teaching yourself. Paid courses, on the other hand, usually offer a much more structured learning path and often end with a certification, which can be a fantastic investment if you're really serious about making this a career.
When it comes to free options, you really can't go wrong with these. Portswigger Academy is the absolute gold standard for beginners. I mean, it's made by the same people who make Burp Suite, and it's packed with over 190 hands-on labs. Hacker 101 is awesome because it's gamified, and if you do well, you can actually get invites to private bug bounty programs. And if you want to find bugs like that Coinbase one, the OWASP API security course is a must.
Now, if you're ready to invest some money in your education, these are top-tier choices. Nahamsek is one of the best hunters in the world, and his course is amazing for learning a real, practical workflow. The Hack the Box certification, the CBBH, is a really solid cert to have on your resume. And for the more advanced folks, the BSCP is often called the OSCP for web hacking, which is a huge deal. It's a tough, practical exam that really proves you know your stuff.
Okay, let's get to the most exciting part. Taking all of this knowledge and actually turning it into action. This is where you go from just learning about hacking to actually doing it and, well, getting paid for it.
And if you ever need some motivation, just look at this. This is about Santiago Lopez, who goes by @TryToHackOnline. He was the very first hacker to earn over $1 million on the HackerOne platform, and he did it all by the time he was 19 years old. Now, that level of success takes a ton of dedication and skill, but it shows you what's truly possible. So, what are your first concrete steps? Get yourself signed up on the big platforms, HackerOne, BugCrowd, and Integrity. Now, resist the temptation to immediately go after Google or Apple. Pick a program with a smaller scope and just focus on learning. Your goal should be to find your first valid bug. Honestly, that first accepted report, no matter how small the payout, is a massive win.
And finally, let me leave you with a few pro tips for the long haul. Don't just read about a technique, go try it in a lab right away. Join a community on Discord. You will learn so much faster from other people. Take detailed notes of everything. Learn to automate the boring stuff with scripts so you can focus on the real challenges. And most importantly, never, ever stop learning. This field changes constantly.
The truth is, the world of cybersecurity is always evolving, and with that evolution comes new bugs and new vulnerabilities, just waiting to be found. The platforms are live, the companies are waiting, and the rewards have never been bigger. The only real question left is, are you going to be the one to find the next big one?